To give you maximum knowledge in limited time, I have chosen to block the comments so that I can focus only on topics as the exam times are close. We have to start 3 a.m. classes. Once we start 3 a.m. classes, 3 to 7, we have to go for special revision early morning. Early morning, 3 to 7 special revision of the topic so that we can hit the JRF in the first attempt. This is a particular session where I'm going to talk about 25 important authors you must read, and normally you make mistakes. You don't read these authors. The problem is that most of the students who are preparing for NET exam, they have limited books and basic guidance, because most of the guides, they themselves are struggling to get a JRF. So they think that we have read Mulkraj Anand, okay, RK Narayan, okay, so we are done with it. And none of them has heard about Mamta Kalia. None of them knows about Vandana Shiva, Sujata Bhatt, Akhil Sharma, Sanjeev Sahota. So if you are a JRF person, if you want a JRF, like if you believe that you are extraordinary and you belong to the class of people, because this is the time that most of the people are qualifying NET because of the UGC's different structure of exam. Earlier there were three papers, so it was really tough to qualify NET. Now in paper one, if you perform really well, there are people, they perform really well in paper, even if they are not that good in literature, they qualify. So, if you're a JRF material, if you think you can crack JRF, then I have a list of 25 authors, and as you can see on your screen, that this is the first part. So, in the first part, I'm going to tell you these 25 authors. Be prepared with these 25 authors. This is a public session, public live. It's not only for my private students, it's for all. Before every exam, every NET exam, we have a history of doing public live, because we understand many of you cannot join the class, many of you cannot come to the classes, some of you are not able to afford the classes. So you still deserve a chance. So this is for humanity. Write down these names. ये सब नाम note करो. Read this. I'll be telling you important factors related to them, and be ready for your exam. The first author we have is Pratap Sharma. Now, if you have not heard about him, you must know Pratap Sharma. So, he's a playwright, and some of his famous works are actually related to his pet dog. He had a German Shepherd. The name of the German Shepherd dog was Ranja. Do you know I have uploaded on YouTube a special video, the role of dogs in English literature? If you're a pet lover, if you're a dog lover, watch it on YouTube. The best thing about India, the best thing about Indian students is that they don't think about anything else. They are sticking to the main syllabus, and sometimes they make mistake. So if you are trying to learn out of the box, watch that video, the famous names of dogs from top literary books. And in NET exam also, Belinda's dog, Shock, it has been asked. So the first author we have is Pratap Sharma. Famous work, Dog Detective Ranjha. It's a famous work, Dog Detective Ranjha, which is written from dog's perspective. Now, in your last exam, March exam, Shift 1, Pratap Sharma was also in the option. So don't forget this, read a basic summary. Even if you read it from Wikipedia, that will be more than enough. Go for second author. The second author for you is from Indian Aesthetics. I have selected some authors for you from almost all the different fields so that you can have a proper list. Second author from Indian Aesthetics, and that's very important, that is Bharat Muni. He has written Natya Shastra. Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra has been compared to poetics, Aristotelian poetics, where Aristotelian poetics deals with the content, the morality, the target audience. The aim of literature is to enlighten with some pleasure. The Indian aesthetics, Natya Shastra, is all about pleasure. Natya Shastra is all about performance, dealing with color, rich performances, excessively dressed up characters. Natya Shastra, you must read, try to understand, and do not forget 8 different rasas. Hasyaras, Sringaras, Vibhats, Adbhut, Viram, all these Karunyaras. Make sure you read all these rasas, because there are multiple questions repeatedly asked from these topics. They can also ask you Who added ninth rasa, the Shanti ras? Then who are the people who added 10th and 11th ras, the Bhakti ras and Vatsalya ras? If you're thinking this is pure Hindi, then why when he starts talking about this thing in exam? Indian aesthetic is the part of English literature now. If you have watched my JRF topper Hina, her interview, she was repeatedly mentioning that Sir used to say, read Indian aesthetics, read Indian aesthetics. She found 4 questions from Indian aesthetics. So make sure you have checked that. There are many other writers, Kuntak, Acharya Kuntak is there, Chemendra is there, then Rajshekar is there. But I would recommend at least go for Bharat Muni's famous work Natya Shastra. Also find out the Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav, Alamban, Uddipan concept. If you're not able to understand, my free videos are available on YouTube. Write down Indian Aesthetics by Vineet Pandey. You will find out the videos, you will be having the ideas. The third author, the third author I have chosen is from Dalit literature. Om Prakash Valmiki, the famous work Jutan. Don't miss that. Most of the authors have written Dalit biographies, Dalit autobiographies. Even in second shift, there was a question. And yes, recently there was a Jamia IMA paper. I have solved that paper. There was a question that out of all these books in 4 different options, which book is not a Dalit autobiography? So that was the answer, Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand, where they're talking about a new machine which will be cleaning our toilets. Don't forget that in all Dalit autobiographies, Om Prakash Valmiki's Jutan is one of the finest one and one of the top leading autobiographies. Don't forget this one. Fourth writer, Eugene O'Neill. Eugene O'Neill is the writer from America, has won 4 Pulitzer Awards. Sometimes he is called the father of expressionism. So you must have read modernism, postmodernism, naturalism, realism, but then what the theme comes expressionism. So Eugene O'Neill has been called father of expressionism, by most of the authors, most of the readers, and then comes the important thing, his famous works, Eugene O'Neill's famous work, Hairy Ape, Emperor Jones, Long Day's Journey into the Night, which is also a Pulitzer Awardee book, Anna Christie, a Pulitzer Awardee book, Strange Interlude, a Pulitzer Awardee book, and Beyond the Horizon, Pulitzer Awardee book, 4 Pulitzer Award, one author, Eugene O'Neill. And there are other works also, Desire Under the Elm Tree. Keep it in the list. Make sure you have read it. He's from American literature. Then comes the fifth and most important author, and he's from post-colonial authors, V.S. Naipaul. Sometimes students make this mistake. They go for V.S. Naipaul, they simply go for famous work, A House for Mr. Bishwas. They read the basic work and they don't understand the post-colonial characteristic of that particular book. So this is our fifth author. You know V.S. Naipaul, Vidyadhar Suraj Naipaul, fine. His brother Shiva Naipaul, fine. You know House of Mr. Bishwas is loosely based on his father. Mohan Bishwas is just like his father, a character. What about the concept of secret language? What about the concept of dislocation, identity crisis, language politics? Make sure you read this from post-colonial point of view. And then don't forget his other works, Mystic Masseur and Mimic Men. Please read that. They're very, very important. Sixth author is from African literature, and that is called Vol Soyinka. Don't miss The Lion and the Jewel, then the Congi's Harvest. That's very important work. Sometimes people make mistake, they miss it. Another mistake they do is that they do not read the poetry written by Vol Soyinka, which is also prescribed in the syllabus of University of Delhi, and that is telephonic conversation, the telephone conversation. Very important. A person calls a landlady and says, I want to rent a room, and then he himself tells it that I'm black, suffering from inferiority. A question asked in shift 1, March exam. This was not the question, Volsoinka. That was an option. Talking about the concept given by Fanon, Friends Fanon. If you watched my Jamia wala paper, there was a reference of that thing. Talking about the particular term related to inferiority complex, dealing with the concept of other. He says, I'm black. The lady says, how much black you are. Then a pause, and then he says, my palms are as white as yours. The white side of my eyes is as white as yours. So it's a must read. I believe you should like this. 83 people have liked it. Out of 130 people who are watching right now, 135 now. I hope I deserve likes, right? So, 5 writers done. Sixth one, and from African literature, it's very important author. Most of the people must have told you. I'm repeating it again. Yes, Chinua HB is very important. So Chinua HB, things fall apart, no longer at ease, arrow of God, man of people, anthils of someone. All these works are important. Primarily, things fall apart. The character of Oknoko, Obi Oknoko. These two characters are repeated. Oknoko and Obi Oknoko. They are very important. Then Ikme Funa, then concept of the village. So how Mr. Brown tries to convert the people into Christianity. What is the opinion of Oknoko on Mr. Brown when he says that I would kill Mr. Brown? The old man says that we can't help. Our people are listening. Our boys are listening, Mr. Brown. Make sure you read that. Six writers. Seventh is in my list. Let me check my list also, because as the top writers, I know what to tell. Ford Maddox Ford. F-O-R-D Ford Maddox Ford. The Good Soldier 1915 publication. Another famous work is Parade's End, which is a tetralogy. Make sure you read that. The Good Soldiers has a subtitle, A Tale of Passion. You know, these writers are the writers, they all of a sudden will come in exam and you will be surprised. So don't miss this writer, Ford Maddox Ford. Then you have to go for the another writer, and that's another famous author, James Fraser. James Fraser. James Fraser is known for the famous book Golden Bow. This is the eighth book in the list. Golden Bow. Maybe I have missed the number, so I will not be sticking to only 25. I'll try to give you more than 25. Golden Bow is actually a collection of all the mythologies, all the Greek mythologies. This book has a reference with George Eliot's Middlemarch, where Professor Edward Kesubin, he was working on a book, Key of All Mythologies. James Fraser's book is very important in archetypal criticism, archetypal theory. So don't miss that. What you have to read is some basic introduction. James Fraser, Golden Bow, basic introduction. No need to read anything else. Then you have to go for the famous author Manju Kapoor Dalmia. Indian postmodern authors Manju Kapoor Dalmia. The famous work she has written is Difficult Daughters, which has won Commonwealth Writers Award 1999. So don't miss it. It's quite simple. Read basic summary. Then comes the Indian non-fiction, which is very, very important in Indian non-fiction genre. I think this is the 10th author after 8th. The Indian non-fiction genre, Pinky Virani is the author, and the name of the story is Aruna's Story. Aruna's Story. Do you know in Mumbai there was a nurse called Aruna Schonbog? She was attacked by some ward boy, a rape attempt. In that assault, when he tried to rape her, he failed, and then he tried to kill her to get rid of all the charges. He just tried to kill her using a chain wrapped around her neck, just like Porphyria's lover reference. He choked her, which blocked the supply of oxygen in her brain. She became paralyzed, totally paralyzed, 100% paralyzed. And do you know she was in the bed in that paralyzed state for more than 42 years? 42 saal. Imagine. Today I was in Nimrana Fort Palace. I celebrated my parents' anniversary, that is 42nd anniversary of my parents. Imagine that woman, 42 years in bed because of some one rape attempt. That's a story, Aruna's story, written by Pinky Virani on Aruna Sean Bog. It was also a famous case because the hospital, the Hinduja hospital, they went for the mercy petition in court, Supreme Court, for mercy killing. They said her relatives, her family, everybody has left her. Please grant her mercy killing, euthanasia. Supreme Court denied. Supreme Court said that we come from a culture where we believe in miracles and miracle can take anytime. It can happen anytime. So she died naturally at the age of some different age, maybe I think 60 or something like that. 42 years she suffered. Now, this was the 10th author. As we have celebrated my parents' anniversary in a palace as a young boy, when I was thinking about my career, that I'll be doing something good, something big, I used to think that I'll give all the pleasures to my family. So thanks to my career in NET JRF, thanks to my parents who made me work hard and live my dreams. Making my parents live in a palace of 15th century palace in Rajasthan. It was a dream come true. So somewhere I'm very happy today that I could make them live like a king and queen. We had two palaces there, the Hira Palace and the Shikar Palace. Shikar Palace is good, scary, cornered mein hai, but it's good, luxury, lavish. And as you are also having your parents and you have dreams for your parents, for your siblings, you also want to do something for them, right? I know you want to do because I'm a son, you are a son, a daughter, I understand. So, my dear friends, work hard. Things are possible. Work hard. They sacrifice their pleasures, they sacrifice their timings for our future. This is my time to do some good things to them, trying to bring some good memories for them. Work hard. You'll be able to do the same thing. I wish you all success. Let's go for 11th author. The 11th author, and we have this famous author, Ismat Chugtai. Write down this name, 11th author, Ismat Chugtai. First Muslim woman to qualify, pass graduation in India. Famously known for her Urdu work Lihaf, which also got translated in many languages, including English. Lihaf is the story of a Begum, her husband Nawab. Nawab is gay, homosexual. Nawab is away from the women. Begum Jan is all alone, has her desires, finds a maidservant and starts her emotional, physical relations with the maidservant. Her name is Rabbu. In exam, the character has been asked. Now, do you know this book has been narrated from a child's point of view? Yes, a child narrating this, that this was happening. All the obscene scenes, all the intimate scenes have been narrated through symbols, through shadows. It was also brought in the court for allegation of obscenity, but the court freed it. Court said that we cannot punish someone on the basis of symbols. It's a very important story. 7 to 8 questions have been asked in exam till now. बहुत सारे questions आते हैं, तो बहुत सारे आ चुके हैं. Don't miss that. The another one we have is the next author we have is Chitra Banerjee Devarni, the 12th author. Her famous work is Palace of Illusions, the modern retelling of Mahabharata. Chitra Banerjee Devarni, Palace of Illusions, the modern retelling of Mahabharata. Then comes Australian author A.D. Hope. Australian author A.D. Hope has written a famous poetry collection, Book of Answers. In this book of Answers, he has answered some famous poetries. One of the finest answer is Andrew Marvell's Coy Mistress, where Coy Mistress answers Andrew Marvell. So that's the title, Coy Mistress's answer to Marvell. That's a must read. Don't miss that. Then after this, another Australian author we have is Miles Franklin. I think it's 14th number. Miles Franklin, famous work, My Brilliant Career, published 1901. But they ask pseudonym of Miles Franklin, Brent of Benben. Brent of Benben is the pseudonym of Miles Franklin. Australian author. Heroine is Sibylla Melvin. Read this. Then come we go for the postmodern Indian authors. In postmodern Indian authors, I would recommend you to go for William Dalrymple. That's my dog, tiger. William Dalrymple. That's very important. He has written a famous work, The Last Mughal. Come, come. Oh, oh. The famous author, the last Mughal. The another famous work he has written is Begums, Thugs, and White Mughals. So yes, I'm making these references from my own personal notes, and that's very important. Do not miss that. That's very important because he's not only an author, he's also a historian, a modern historian. So, retelling of Mughal Raj, retelling of Mughal families in India, their relations with the Britishers. It's beautiful. Don't miss that. है ना? You know, I'm 100% sure इसका JRF हो जाएगा. Go, 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 go. अभी अभी रुक जाओ. Go, go. Fine. I think 1670 writers are there. The next one we have is Geeta Hariharan. Geeta Hariharan, she has won Commonwealth Writers Award for the famous work Thousand Faces of Night. Geeta Hariharan, she has won famous Commonwealth Writers Award for Thousand Faces of Night. That's very important. Don't miss that. Another famous work by same author is The Ghost of Vasu Master. Then you have to read Jan Martel, 18th writer. Jan Martel is a Canadian author. Famous work, Life of Pi, dealing with existentialism, dealing with the meaning of life, man-animal relationship, along with that, the developing market conditions. Jan Martel's Life of Pi, very important, as it has Indian character, Pisin Patel from Pondicherry, and it has a tiger, not my pet tiger, my pet is also called Tiger. His name is, not your story, not your story, the Royal Bengal Tiger, and his name is Richard Parker. So don't miss that. Approx 20 writers are done. The other important writers, because I have a special list and I have to choose all these names. Japanese author Kazuo Ishiguro. Japanese Canadian. Kazuo Ishiguro. The famous work Remains of the Day 1989, a Booker Awardee book. 2017, the same man has won Nobel Award. Kazuo, Kazuo, Kazuo Ishiguro, the famous work Remains of the Day 1989, a Booker Awardee book. 2017, Nobel Award. Remains of the Day is a historical novel that deals with the memories of Darlington Hall. ये point भी note कर लेना, write down these points. Then another important author is from Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan diaspora. You must be thinking, why not English? Why not India? Why Vineet sir is talking about Sri Lankan diaspora? South Asian authors are the part of UGC NET exam. Southern post-colonials. In NET exam, questions have been asked from Mohsin Hamid, Alamgir Hashmi, Monica Ali, Tahmima Anam, Nadifa Muhammad. These questions have been asked. Out of all these writers, this one is very important. Michel Ondaatje. Michel Ondaatje, Sri Lankan Canadian author, Sri Lankan diaspora author. Famous work is very, very important. English Patient. It's a beautiful story. It's a love story. Read English Patient. It has an Indian character also, Kirpal Singh. The background is Second World War. 22 authors ho gaye shayad. Okay, this one is equally very, very important. I cannot miss this thing. The famous author Bernice Rubens. I'm sure आपने नाम नहीं सुना होगा. I know 90%, 99% have not heard this name. आपके टीचर्स ने भी नहीं सुना होगा. No offense, वो नहीं पढ़ाते होंगे. I'm sure. Bernice Rubens is the first woman to win Booker Award 1970. 1970 में first Booker Award दिखा था the elected member के लिए. You know what's my habit? Read everything, revise everything, and then go to exam. Let them make a tough paper. You must have seen my last interview, my updates. For this last 9th net, I did not study anything. And still, my percentile in English is 99.55. One simple goal, one simple rule. There is no shortcut. Read each and everything, revise each and everything, get a JRF, and live the life on your terms and conditions. Let's go for the other author, American postmoderns Sinclair Lewis. The first American to win Nobel Award. The first American to win Nobel Award in 1930. So most important, that's very important thing. Famous work, Main Street, 1920. Another famous work, Babbitt, 1922. It's a satirical novel about American culture. Another famous work, Aerosmith, 1925. Make sure you read that because in Babbitt, the hero George Babbitt has been called an ideal of an American popular hero from the middle class. Important one. Next important author from the another southern post colonials we have is Hanif Qureshi. I think it's 24th. Hanif Qureshi is another most important author in my offline batch. I narrated the story also of my son, the fanatic. A short story. There is a father, there is a son. Father is a bad Muslim, son is a good Muslim. Son offers namaz regularly. Father is into clubs, affairs, physical intimacy with prostitutes. So it's a very good story. Deals with cultural shock, identity crisis, cultural hegemony. These are the terms involved in this particular study. Hanif Qureshi, do not miss it. Top 50 South Asian British authors में से एक है. He is one of the top 50 British authors. Last author, the 25th author in the list is Nassim Ezekiel for all important works. Nassim Ezekiel, Miss Pushpa, Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa TS, example of Babu English, Butler English, that's very important, also called Kitchen English. So that's very important. The Night of the Scorpion, where Indianness has been dealt, the scorpion, the myth, the mythology, connection, it's everything there. Recently in Jamia exam, there was a question related to it. Then poet, lover, bird watcher, that's also very important. Enterprise is very important. Then Nassim Isgal's own idea of being a Jew writing in India. Make sure you read his personal life. At least 10 minutes, read his personal life. There's the 25 writers. Now, to make this session more fruitful for you, I would recommend read Atiya Hussain. Atiya Hussain's famous work, Phoenix Fled. Read that. 26th, author number 26th. I would recommend read Carol Shields, the another Canadian writer. I would recommend read Kripa by Sathyanathan. Don't forget Raj Lakshmi Devi. Don't forget Gurcharan Das. Don't forget Upmanyu Chatterjee, English August. Last time second shift में question है इसका. Question is there. Don't forget Meena Alexander, Namita Gokhale. I'm sure you have not heard most of the names. But read that. That's all important. Suketu Mehta, Maximum City, 2004. Autobiographical account of Mumbai, 2005, Pulitzer Award. इस बार list में था. Remember my Jamia solution? I said that I was sure about Suketu Mehta. So this writer is important. You can also go for some other authors who are not directly involved in important, but they are asked in exams. For example, Malathi Rao, famous work, Disorderly Woman, 2007. You must read that. ये आपको टिप्स पे होना चाहिए. आपको दूसरा जो एंशियंट ऑथर है ओविड्स मेटामॉर्फोसिस, ये आपको आना चाहिए. आपको मॉडर्न राइटर्स में जेम्स जॉयस टिप्स पे होना चाहिए. इन एंशियंट जर्मन लिटरेचर गॉथेज फॉस्ट आपको आना चाहिए. रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट, आयरिश मर्डॉक, मेरी स्टूडेंट है ऑक्सफोर्ड में, वो आयरिश मर्डॉक पे पीएचडी कर रही है. दैट्स मस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये सब नहीं भूलना आपको. Revise like me, study like me, check what is Oxford poets, what is pylon poets, what is left wing poets, because I am going to prepare my students for all these things and my students are going to raise the merit. So when you say the merit is high, there are people who have been trained to be merciless in the exam, so they hit all the questions. One simple funda to qualify NET and JRF: read each and everything, prepare like hell, be the best, be the beast. एग्जाम में बैठो तो नर्वस होकर नहीं बैठना. एग्जाम में बैठना गट्स के साथ. मुझे सब आएगा, मैं सब करूंगा, बिकॉज आई हैव वर्कड हार्ड. दिस कैन बी डार्क, नो, बट द फ्यूचर इज नॉट डार्क. सो हैविंग डार्क आइज इज फाइन, बट एटलीस्ट द फ्यूचर शुड नॉट बी डार्क. आई होप you can work hard. If you have guts to work hard and you want to live a life on your own shoulders, then stay tuned. 3 a.m. session tomorrow morning to check that how many of you are willing to join 3 a.m. session. I will make it a public live, a free public live. Let's see how many of you have guts to get up at 3 a.m. for your dreams. I will be getting up at 3 a.m. to teach my students. And along with that, if you have any queries, any questions, any suggestions, feel free to contact me on 8810289637. WhatsApp कीजिएगा. Try WhatsApp 8810289637. Okay. Good night. Shabak khair. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.